I think the more relevant question actually is, what is wrong with America? What is wrong with this country that they would choose a message of divisiveness, of xenophobia, of racism, of misogyny, over a message of inclusiveness, a message for the people, by the people, of the people? That's what the problem is. It's the Republican Party. And what's wrong with America?
Yeah, that's what you see. The legacy media still melting down and blaming American voters for Trump's re-election, but is refusing to self-analyze to find out what's wrong with the Democratic Party. Let's bring in a host of A Home That Heals podcast, one of America's great former TV news anchors, Dee Sarton, and journalist Dom Lucre. Thank you both for coming on. Dee, you heard Sonny Hostin right there. It's kind of amazing. The question is not what's wrong with America, it's what's right with America. And it kind of goes back to what you coined, the whole phrase of pragmaticals. D, the people who are like just looking for the basics in life and want life to be normal and safe and secure.
Yes, this election has so restored my faith in Americans' ability to be critical thinkers, to not be swayed by $1 billion in advertising, marketing, and branding, but rather to think through these issues. But, you know, it shouldn't be surprising. Americans are pragmatic. They're common sense people. They're grounded. They're sensible. They're looking at their families and saying, you know what, I want to feed my family. I want to be able to trust that my child is going to be under my care, not the state's care. It goes on and on. So many different issues that American families looked at critically and made decisions because the competition was not giving them information and solid evidence of what they would do.
And I think that's right. Here is Charlemagne the God. He said this.
Don't y'all find it strange that now that he's won, they're not calling him a threat to democracy? They're not calling him a fascist? I would think that, you know, if you really believe that, then somebody's speech would be about how America effed up and how things are about to be really bad. It just makes you wonder how much of it did they really believe or how much of it was just politics.
I mean, Dom, they're not calling him a fascist and Hitler anymore because they were lying to the American people and they knew it. And so they stopped calling it after he won the election. Even President Biden, who called him all kinds of stuff, is now saying it's going to be fine. What do you think?
I think it really just shows that most of these narratives that these people push, they only have a certain time frame, and they already understand what they're pushing is false. It's complete propaganda from day one. It's just that it has a pretty short time frame. I like to call it fast food politics. That's what the left pretty much tries to push to the black community for the most part. I view conservative more so like a full course meal in comparison, but they push a lot of fast food politics. It's here today, gone tomorrow.
Are they fooling anybody, Dom?
They did in the past, but I say they've done a terrible job with fooling us, it seems, this year. I believe because they really haven't changed their strategies as of much. They've been doing the same thing over and over, expecting everyone just to fall in line.
Yeah. Dee, I want to play some of this podcast. It's Jon Stewart saying the left never dreamed that Trump would actually win the actual fair, right way. Here's what he said.
How is he going to use undemocratic principles? What measure of intimidation and underhanded shenaniganery will this man use to worm his way back into the Oval Office? And it turned out he used our electoral system as it is designed. And in that moment, I thought, well, I'm not sure we have a team of lawyers for that.
Did it the right way. What I'm fascinated about, Dee, is when you see the Joe Rogans and the Theo Vons and Jon Stewart, these podcasts, man, these podcasts are becoming so influential.
Mm-hmm.
This definitely was a big change in terms of the, excuse me, Dom, it was a big change in the election for sure. And I think they had a lot of power to get the message across, not just in short sound bites, but so we could really see the candidates.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly right. And the whole thing, Dom, is that you see the platform and you see what's happening and people are listening for 3 hours. I mean, we think it's a TikTok generation where you need 30 seconds. People are sitting down and listening for 3 hours. Finally, Jen Psaki said this on traditional media on MSNBC Monday. Watch.
There is a real question I hope people start looking at about who people are listening to. In my view, there was an over-listening to and an over-lifting up of people who left Trump, not people who left the Democratic Party. The people who left Trump, the never-Trumpers, who have important voices and have That is not the winning coalition.
Sometimes, Dom, you just have to say we lost and we need to get better. MSNBC is hemorrhaging viewers.
Yeah, they definitely are. And I like the fact that you mentioned about the podcast, but I'd also like to mention the streamers. You see, the liberal, the left, they've typically had a great control on media because celebrities in the past, I would say about up to 2016, they held a significant amount of weight in culture in America. But we see through these new generations after millennials and after Gen Z, specifically with Gen Z, is the rise of streamers. And we've seen President-elect Trump take a great advantage of the streaming community, which rejected Kamala Harris. A poll came out that over 94% of Kick, which is the third largest streaming service, 94% of their influencers all rejected Kamala Harris. That tells us that although she has a lot of influence in the past, she does not have the future, which we're pushing forward. Trump was the way forward. He utilized the streamers. He utilized the future. These streamers are the new celebrities in 2024. No one is pushing the numbers that they're pushing, and Trump was able to maintain that and utilize that. I mean,
wow.
Yeah, having Beyonce, it might matter, but it's nothing in comparison to Aiden Ross. It's nothing in comparison to Casa not telling 40 million viewers at one time. You know, by the time the day ends, about 40 million people seeing that, oh, the Secret Service called me. I denied it. That's a detrimental blow, and it shows who's controlling the culture. And I believe the culture is shifting to conservatism.
Dom, great information. Dee, good insight. We appreciate it. Thank you both.